Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Mr. Jason W. Condrey, Installation Management Command Sustainment Director, and Command Sergeant Major Nakia Harris, welcome to the United States Army Garrison Fort Belvoir Change of Command Ceremony. This morning, Colonel David J. Stewart will relinquish command of the United States Army Garrison Fort Belvoir to Colonel Samuel R. Allen. The reviewing officer for today's ceremony is Mr. Jason W. Condrey. Ladies and gentlemen, our special guests attending today's ceremony include Lieutenant General Retired Ken Dahl, Lieutenant General Retired Kip Ward, Major General Antoinette Gant, Commanding General, Joint Task Force, National Capital Region, and Military District of Washington. Command Sergeant Major Vern Daly, Joint Task Force, National Capital Region, and Military District of Washington. Brigadier General Retired Sierra Adams Ender. Colonel Stewart's family, Keith and Irina Stewart, Erica Stewart, Robert Stewart, and Miss Talisha Rogers. Colonel Allen's family, Mrs. Ashley Allen, and their son, Charlie Allen. And the Honorable Margarita Garrison, Deputy Inspector General for Administrative Investigations. The Honorable Steve Stebbins, Department of War, Principal Deputy Inspector General. Mr. Castillo Gerardo, on behalf of Virginia Lieutenant Governor Keziah Hashmi. Virginia Senator Scott Saravel. Virginia Delegate Roja Henson, and Fairfax County Supervisor Dan Stork. In addition to these esteemed guests, we're very pleased to have a number of active and retired general officers, current and former members of the Senior Executive Service, senior non-commissioned officers, representatives of our local communities, as well as family, friends, and associates of Colonel Stewart and Colonel and Mrs. Allen. We would also like to extend a special welcome to the members of the Garrison workforce who joined us for this event and to all who join us virtually on Teams. Thank you all for attending. The official party for today's ceremony is Mr. Jason W. Condrey, Colonel David J. Stewart, the outgoing commander, United States Army Garrison Fort Belvoir, and Colonel Samuel R. Allen, the incoming Garrison commander. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for honors to the nation, performed by the United States Army Brass Quintet, featuring Staff Sergeant Matthew Burke, vocalist. And please remain standing for the invocation that will be presented by Chaplain Andrew Lawrence.
By the dawn's early light, proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Invite you to bow your heads in prayer in your tradition as I pray in mine. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, for yours is the labor and yours is the vineyard in which we serve. We give you thanks today for the soldiers, civilians, and families of Fort Belvoir community and all who labor here in service to our nation. Today we give thanks for Colonel David Stewart for his leadership and faithful stewardship of this command. Bless him and his family as he relinquishes command and moves into the next chapter of his life. May they carry with them the gratitude and thanks of this community. As the colors pass and responsibility is entrusted anew, bless Colonel Samuel Allen, grant him wisdom in judgment, courage in difficulty, humility in leadership, and compassion for those entrusted to his care. Remind us that authority is a trust, leadership is a service, and the work entrusted to our hands is greater than any one of us. Bless Fort Belvoir and all who serve and live here. Prosper the work of our hands. Give all hands and direct all that we do toward the common good and the cause of peace. And finally, O God, watch over all of those deployed this day in harm's way. Be their strength in danger, their compassion in loneliness, their protection in every trial. Bring them safely home to those who love them. We ask all of this in your strong and holy name. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, flowers are being presented to Mrs. Talisha Rogers. She is receiving a bouquet of red roses. Red is the color of the heart and reflects her love and concern. And the Stewart family will be presented with gifts. And Mrs. Allen is receiving a bouquet of yellow roses. Yellow is the color of a new beginning and symbolizes her arrival as the new First Lady of the Garrison. And in time, Mrs. Allen's rosebuds will blossom, as will her relationship with the soldiers, civilians, and their families. From ancient times, armies throughout the world have conducted ceremonies to commemorate victories over enemies, honor comrades in arms, and celebrate special occasions as we are doing today. These ceremonies have added color and pageantry to military life while preserving tradition and stimulating esprit de corps. The Continental Army established the foundation by which our present-day ceremonies are performed. And today's ceremony is an enactment of an Army tradition that is 250 years old. It reaffirms the concept that the Army is perpetuated on time-honored values and traditions, and not on the accomplishments of individuals. Today, you will witness a small part of that tradition as the garrison colors and command authority of the United States Army Garrison, Fort Belvoir, are passed from one leader to another. The Non-Commissioned Officer Corps has always been the key link between the officers who provide intent and the soldiers and civilians who execute. In recognition of their essential role in the success of the Garrison Command, the most senior non-commissioned officer in the Garrison, Command Sergeant Major Brandon Creel, will assist in the transfer of the Garrison colors. The change of command is a simple, traditional event that is rich with symbolism and heritage. Key to the ceremony is the passing of the Garrison colors. These Garrison colors represent not only the lineage and honors of the Garrison Command, but also the loyalty and unity of its soldiers and civilians. The Garrison colors are the Garrison Commander's symbol of authority, representing his responsibilities to the organization. Wherever the Garrison Commander is, there also are the Garrison colors. The custodian of the Garrison colors is the Garrison Command Sergeant Major, who is the senior enlisted soldier in the Garrison Command and principal advisor to the Garrison Commander. The passing of the Garrison colors symbolizes the transfer of authority from the outgoing commander to the incoming commander. The passing of the colors demonstrates to the soldiers and civilians of the unit that the outgoing Garrison Commander has passed the mantle of leadership to the new Garrison Commander. With this, also passes the loyalty of the soldiers and civilians to their new Garrison Commander. Command Sergeant Major Creel is now passing the Garrison colors to Colonel Stewart, the outgoing commander, signifying the last official act between the Garrison Command Sergeant Major and the Garrison Commander. Colonel Stewart is passing the colors to Mr. Condrey, signifying a successful completion of command. Mr. Condrey is passing the colors to Colonel Allen, the incoming commander, charging him with responsibility for the unit as his new Garrison Commander. By the authority of the Army Regulation 600-20, Paragraph 2-5, the undersigned assumes command of the United States Army Garrison, Fort Belvoir, effective 13 August 2026. Signed, Colonel Samuel Allen, commanding. Colonel Allen is passing the colors to Command Sergeant Major Creel, symbolizing his first official act with the Garrison Command Sergeant Major and his trust in the unit's non-commissioned officers corps, thus completing the change of command. Ladies and gentlemen, the Director, Installation Management Command, Sustainment Directorate, Mr. Jason W. Condrey.
Major General Gant, Gold Star family members, state and local elected leaders, general officers, members of the Senior Executive Service, commanders, command sergeants major, members of the Stewart and Allen families, civilians and friends of our Army garrison here at Fort Belvoir, good morning. And I'm pleased to welcome you here today. It's a packed house. It's honestly my privilege to be here on this fantastic installation with such a rich tradition in supporting the defense of this great nation in ways that are apparent and lots of ways that are not. And so as the Director of Sustainment, United States Army Installation Management Command, it's an honor for me personally to participate in this change of command between these two fantastic leaders. So first, I want to begin by thanking our senior commander, Major General Tony Gant. So this is the third ceremony and leader transition in almost as many weeks here in the footprint of the Military District of Washington. And so I want to thank you again for your leadership, your teamwork with Installation Management Command and the Garrison team here at Belvoir. And frankly, for all that you do for our warfighters, our families, our civilians, our retirees. I'm honored to work in support of you and your priorities and all the things that we're responsible for in terms of infrastructure, quality of life here at Fort Belvoir. I'd also like to recognize and extend a special welcome to Colonel Dave Stewart's family. I know his daughter Olivia and son David are joining us virtually. Hopefully, they're at UVA and JMU respectfully, and hopefully we're able to dial in this morning. his significant other, Colonel Talisha Rogers. Glad to finally meet you and see you here this morning. And of course, Dave's parents down from and siblings down from New Jersey, Robert and Arena Stewart. Robert, a retired Army aviation officer. Always good to see a fellow retired soldier for life. And his mother, a retired educator. And then Brother Keith and Erica, his sister. So very glad that you were able to come down and be part of this incredible ceremony with us today. And then additionally, I'm very happy to welcome Colonel Sam Allen, his wife Ashley, and their sons Charlie and Owen. Got a few other friends and former coworkers that are here to be in support of Sam. One specifically, I know a former mentor of Sam, Colonel Kevin Capra, and a notable number of inspectors general that under different circumstances and the bright lights, it might give me a little bit more pause. But Sam, Ashley, I'm super excited to welcome the Allens to the Installation Management Command team. We're looking forward to the time ahead. And so today's ceremony gave us the opportunity to carry on the tradition of formally transferring the responsibility and authority of command. And the Garrison's mission is unique. I know there's a couple people out here that truly have a feel for that. Installation Management Command is tasked with delivering base support from the strategic support area, installations like Fort Belvoir. And that's designed to ensure that our globally responsive Army and Joint Force are able to fight and win when called. And so the Garrison is the centerpiece of IMCOM. And the individuals leading that organization are integral to achieving mission success. And I'd say that unlike the other armies, the other warfighting functions within the Army does not train its officers to be garrison commanders. I mean, we do a 2-week course, but I'd hesitate to say that prepares a garrison leader for all the things that are in store for them. What the Army does do, however, is it develops leaders who are capable, innovative, and motivated to handle the complexity and dynamic nature of this type of command. And so over the last 2 years, I would say that Dave has proved himself to be this type of leader. His dedication and strategic vision has allowed the Belvoir team here to significantly contribute to the Army's priorities of people, readiness, and modernization. The very things that are integral to fighting and winning when our nation's called. Dave has distinguished himself serving as the commander, synchronizing Army, joint, interagency, and regional partners to sustain installation readiness. His leadership strengthened the integration. He modernized critical infrastructure, improved the quality of life for the service members' families, and in doing so also generated over $200 million in savings to the Army. Embracing a people-first leadership philosophy, he strengthened critical partnerships with Fairfax County civil leaders. He forged enduring relationships with stakeholders ranging from the Board of Supervisors to the local school district leadership, expanding the Garrison's regional influence beyond its $25 billion economic footprint here. And so, demonstrating exceptional foresight, Colonel Stewart launched the Installation's Good Neighbor program and integrated community stakeholders into Garrison events, reinforcing trust, transparency, and building partnerships. Our military families found a true advocate for quality of life in Dave. He drove historic improvements in initiatives for single soldiers and families. Underneath his leadership, Garrison opened the newly renovated McCree Barracks, modernizing unaccompanied housing with over 400 apartment-style rooms. Additionally, he just recently broke ground on Young Village, Fort Belvoir's first new housing construction project since 2004. That will deliver up to 200 modernized homes for the community here. Simultaneously, Dave was focused on the housing that we currently have. He reduced the rates of families who were displaced from their homes for repairs by up to 80% and decreased the wait time to return to their homes to fewer than 7 days. That's pretty impressive when you know the types of problems that he was trying to solve on a day-to-day basis. Of course, managing infrastructure was just one of the many roles a garrison commander And Dave led his team to do some very impressive things in a short time span that delivered lasting benefits to the Garrison and the commands here at Belvoir and regional partners even outside the fence. So following the January 2025 return to in-person work directive, he orchestrated the relocation of approximately 800 personnel from leased commercial space into government-owned facilities here on Fort Belvoir. That instantly generated some savings for the Army of about $4 million, and then over the long term to the tune of about $200 million. That's a pretty impressive savings to the Army. He leveraged some of those cost savings to do some critical renovations, transforming some of the old infrastructure in those facilities into modernized workspace, while strengthening the integration across the installation, bringing the community closer together. So those savings that we generated for the Army invested right back here in this community. I would say Dave is also exceptional at establishing what I would characterize as win-win partnerships across the region. He established Fort Belvoir's Intergovernmental Support Agreement program with Sourcewell and Auburn University that was adapted as an enterprise-wide acquisition model. Specifically, had allowed him to streamline traditional contracting timelines. He was able to very quickly execute 32 projects across 2 years, delivering $30.7 million in critical requirements, and at the same time providing about $6 million in savings that allowed for more work to be done here at this great installation. That's a almost 20% reduction in cost in comparison to the government cost estimates that we had anticipated for all that work. And so, recognized for exceptional speed and the stewardship of those resources, this was quickly adopted across all of Installation Management Command. So impressive the way Dave's team had the lead there. And so, when he wasn't doing all that, he dabbled in the relaxing venture of counter-UAS strategies. Dave drove the implementation of Fort Belvoir's pioneering counter-small unmanned aircraft systems program. His leadership enabled the rapid fielding of advanced platforms, comprehensive tactical training for the security personnel, and integration of these capabilities into the installation's larger protection framework. Establishing the first of its kind defense blueprint for installation security, he synchronized extensive coordination with senior Department of War and Army leaders to secure the installation and its multiple satellite locations. It was no small task, Dave. So Dave, I touched on just a few of the impressive results achieved by your team during your command. Well done, and thank you. I can tell you you'll be missed. It's been my honor to serve with you, and we wish you well as you begin your transition out of the Army over the next year. And so as always, when we bid farewell to one commander, we welcome a new one. And so today we eagerly welcome Colonel Sam Allen, Ashley, and Charlie and Owen. Sam brings extensive experience into command, commissioned as a field artillery officer from Center College in Kentucky in 2002. Sam has served in various positions, both stateside and overseas, to include combat deployments. Beyond his operational leadership and staff roles, Sam is seasoned by unique broadening assignments, including serving as an exchange officer to the headquarters Royal Artillery in the United Kingdom, time in Joint Special Operations Command on the Army staff, and of course he comes to Belvoir after serving as a senior military assistant to the Department of War Inspector General. Sam, your experience combined with lessons learned from your prior assignments make you uniquely qualified for the challenges that you will find here as you lead the Belvoir team. Clearly no stranger to the art of leadership and being ready to fight and win and building strong partnerships. Those are exactly the skills that we need for the commander here. So I'm certain that you will build on the successes of Dave and your other predecessors. The challenges are many, but I'm confident that the energy and leadership style will generate instant results. And finally, I'd like to recognize the superb Fort Belvoir Garrison team who make it happen every day, the things you see, the things you don't see. I'm proud of the accomplishments of the team here. You work incredibly hard and deliver extraordinary results for our warriors, our mission partners who live and work here on the installation. Thanks for all that you do. And so for all in attendance here today, to honor both these great Americans, thanks for your time and your support to our nation's warriors, civilians, and their families. Support and defend. This will defend. Be all that you can be.
Ladies and gentlemen, the outgoing Garrison Commander, Colonel David J. Stewart.
All right. Good morning, everybody. How's Fort Belvoir doing today? Come on, we can do better than that. How's Fort Belvoir doing today? Okay, well, I'll take it. One more time. How's the Fort Belvoir doing today? Oh, there you go, sir. No, man, I don't know if I'm ready for this. I guess I have to be because somebody's parking in my old parking space now, but so we'll get to it here, but it's tough. But I just want to say, hey, good morning to all the distinguished guests, local community leaders, fellow commanders, family, friends, and most importantly, the dedicated soldiers and civilian professionals of the Fort Belvoir Garrison team. To all, and also as well, those who are joining us online today and couldn't be here. So thank you all for participating. But first, I'd like to give honor to God and thank him for his continued blessings in my life. To Major General Gant, thank you for your leadership, guidance, support to me and the Fort Belvoir team of teams. To Mr. Condrey, thank you for your guidance and your support to Fort Belvoir, the leaders and civilians, and the soldiers who continue to provide support and services aligned with the IMCOM priorities. Command Sergeant Major Creel, to all the Garrison team and the partners here that made today possible in the planning and participation, thank you for all the hard work that you do, and thank you for putting on another amazing event. Special thanks to Command Sergeant Major Creel and Mr. Lehane, my deputy. I really appreciate your support, your counsel, and the memories forged throughout these last 2 years. It's kind of hard to believe that 2 years has already passed by. And I explained that to some of the staff earlier this week. As one of my primary goals in my career was to command at the 06 level, and also in one of the most dynamic, complex environments with mission impacts that affect whole of government priorities, and that is Fort Belvoir. And I was blessed to be able to be the commander of Fort Belvoir, and that is absolutely my biggest flex. So when the time came to select command, I preferenced installations as my first choice, and of course, Fort Belvoir was my first choice as well. And having been blessed with the opportunity, I can now say that I've checked both those boxes, Brigade Commander of Fort Belvoir. And when I first took the colors in 2024, I knew commanding a garrison of this size would be a challenge, but it didn't take long to realize that Garrison Command is unlike any other command in the United States Army. And as a lifetime engineer, I'm used to understanding complexity, but managing an installation with 145 units is on another level. And then add in the location, add in the joint force structure, multi-compo, interagency flavors baked into our mission partners. It can't get any more challenging than this. Commanders often get credit, but the garrison staff, the team of teams, does the heavy lift. You are the continuity, you are the expertise, and you are the backbone of this community. So what does this group of professionals do? And do well, I might add. Manage the infrastructure that keeps this installation alive. They are responsible for the housing that shelters our families, the security that protects our gates, the environmental stewardship of our land, and the quality of life programs that sustain our community. They keep us safe. They enhance communication. They promote the health, safety, and wellness, all that live here, work here, and play on Fort Belvoir. That is what they do, and they do it well. Ultimately, all of these efforts, the dedication and commitment to improving the quality of life on and off the job here, support the mission, and support the readiness of our force. So to the incredible family of families we call the Fort Belvoir Garrison team, our Department of Army civilians, our soldiers, you are the heartbeat of this installation. To our DPW, you keep the lights on, you keep the water running, and you keep our facilities operational. To DES, our military police, firefighters, security guards, thank you for standing watch 24/7. And because of you, our families sleep soundly at night knowing that they are safe. To MWR, you provided the programs, the child care, the fitness centers, and the events that turn an Army post into a true home, into a true community. You bring the soul to the installation. To DPTMS, the bedrock of our garrison, you provide direction, coordinating, and synchronizing efforts across the organization and across the community, building relationships, protecting the force, and ensuring event success. To DHR, all the administrative actions that you undertake in support of everybody on the installation, the garrison staff, as well as all of our tenant partners, our service members and their families. You are a customer service forward-facing element that brings success to the installation. To our support staff, PIO, PAO, safety, EO, IT, RSO, the SJA, and our headquarters battalion, you keep our operations moving, ensuring our personnel are cared for, informed, resourced, and have an environment built on dignity and respect. Thank you all for your patience and unmatched professionalism and your absolute dedication to the warfighter. And it's been a privilege of my career standing as your garrison commander. I'd also like to thank our partners outside the fence line who play a large role as well. And we work closely with the leaders from the local counties, the schools, the Commonwealth of Virginia to ensure that our $25 million economic footprint enhanced the lives of our military-connected families all throughout Fairfax County and beyond. We accomplished so much during these 2 years, and I just wanted to highlight a few, as Mr. Condrey has already articulated. He mentioned the Good Neighbor program. You know, it may be me and under my watch that happened, but that was a true collective effort led by my deputy, Sean Lahane, that really pushed that ball over the goal line. And I wanted to recognize his work and the team's hard work and said community partners, many of who are here today and work quietly to improve the lives of service members and their families. We accomplished a lot, so as he mentioned before, in terms of the installation, providing additional resources and support to all of the service members and their families. So it's all about how are we getting better every day? What are we doing to think outside of the box with the limited resources we have to enhance everybody's on-the-job surroundings, as well as the quality of life for all of our civilians and families that live here and work here on the installation. Another very proud accomplishment was the groundbreaking of Young Village, named after Brigadier General Charles Young. Opening in 2028, again, adding an additional 213 homes to the installation. Again, all about how do we get better and provide world-class support to our service member and their families. Next, to Colonel Allen and his family, you are assuming command of an outstanding organization. The team standing before you is a group of true professionals that will not let you down. Command is a heavy responsibility, but you are the right leader at the right time and to guide this garrison to its next chapter. And we wish you nothing but the absolute best. I leave Fort Belvoir with a profound sense of admiration for the dedication and resilience of this community. My time here has continued to reinforce the fundamental truth that when we truly put people first, the mission success naturally follows. So relying on the excellent leadership demonstrated at every echelon, from our junior enlisted, our NCOs, to the dedicated civilian workforce, it's been deeply humbling privilege to lead here on Fort Belvoir. And the lessons that I have learned from all of you about selfless service, adaptability, and steadfast commitment are ones that I will carry for the rest of my life. Thank you for your unwavering support and for making this garrison the standard of excellence. Thank you to my peers, my friends, both new and old, to the bros always holding me down. I see the purple and gold in the room. I appreciate your attendance here today. And for all those standing here today and providing unwavering support through the highs and lows along this journey. To my parents, thank you for your prayers and your continued support throughout my life. Your guidance, your counsel, your caring words in times of need throughout my life and throughout my career. And throughout these last 2 years in command, I love you both. To my brother and sister, all I could ask for, and thank you both for always being there, for your advice, your comfort, and an extra push to continuously pursue excellence. T, thank you for your love and support. I can't imagine this journey without you being by my side and that extra push. And I couldn't have done it without you. To be continued. To my littles, Olivia and David, thank you for being just amazing. I appreciate your resilience as military children, your tenacity, oriented towards success, and I am blessed to have watched you grow into the phenomenal adults that you have become. I love you both. As I prepare to step away and hand over this command, I do so with a heart full of pride and profound gratitude. Serving as your garrison commander has been the single most rewarding experience of my time in uniform. Thank you all. God bless our soldiers, our civilians, and our families, and God bless the United States Army. People first, leaders in excellence, serving those who serve. We are the Army's home. Eagle 6 out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Garrison Commander, United States Army Garrison, Fort Belvoir, Colonel Samuel R. Allen.
Good morning. How lucky are we to have the Army Band and the Army Chorus here in this place? I just want to give a round of applause. That was probably one of the best renditions of the national anthem I've heard in a long time. If we could just recognize those folks. That's awesome. So I was going to make some sort of quote, some sort of quip about you being paranoid that there are inspector generals in the audience, and there's an unannounced inspection or evaluation. But Mr. Condrey already hit me on that one. But Mr. Stebbins, I'm looking at you. Yes, no, we're good for right now. We'll follow. Okay, all right. We'll talk later. We'll talk later. So I once had a leader advised me when I took battery command as a captain that incoming commanders should remember two things during a change of command: be brief and be gone. And I think Colonel retired Kevin Capper probably told me that. So if everyone in this room could thank him for my brevity when we're finished with them, I'd appreciate that. Distinguished guests, senior leaders, fellow service members, community partners, and friends, thank you all for being here today. I am deeply humbled and incredibly proud to stand before you today as incoming Garrison Commander for Belvoir. And like Colonel Stewart, this was also my number one preference when I was coming up for brigade level command. And it is truly a privilege to be in this position. Major General Gant and Mr. Condrey, thank you for placing your trust and confidence in me to lead this exceptional garrison. I accept this responsibility with a profound sense of duty, dedication, and enthusiasm. To my family, Ashley, Charlie, and every milestone in my career belongs to you just as it does to me. Thank you for your love, your continued patience, and your sacrifice on this next chapter that we're about to embark on. Colonel Stewart, Dave, thank you for your outstanding leadership and your tireless efforts these past 2 years. You really have set a phenomenal standard in excellence, and you leave behind a garrison that is resilient and deeply connected to the community. And I promise to build upon that commitment, to be ready and engaged, and to further develop the team of teams that you have formed inside and outside these gates. I have quickly recognized that Fort Belvoir is unlike any other Army installation in the world. We are a joint base without the label, right? Serving as a strategic sustaining base for so many unique organizations, as has been mentioned already, over 140 vital mission partners, Army commands, defense agencies, and representatives from every branch of the military here. What happens on this installation directly impacts our nation's global defense readiness, absolutely. And so our garrison mission is vital, to provide installation-based support to enable mission readiness. However, I understand that building and sustaining readiness does not happen through military means alone. It begins at home, and it relies heavily on the environment we cultivate right here on this installation. Our strength as an Army and our nation relies on the strength of our military families, and those families are strengthened by the community that surrounds them, our local educators, our civic leaders, our businesses, and our neighbors. It truly is a team of team efforts, and I thank you today for your support as we work through that. Finally, to the exceptional professionals of the Fort Belvoir Garrison team, the soldiers, the civilians, the contractors, the volunteers, I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm ready to get work right beside you. Your dedication is what keeps this place running every single day. We will remain leaders in excellence, serving those who serve, committed to the community, because that's where it all starts. Thank you again for coming this morning. Leaders in excellence, we are the Army's home. This will defend. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and join in the singing of the Army song, and the words are on the back of your programs. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Installation Management Command, Sustainment Directorate, and the Garrison Commander, United States Army Garrison, Fort Belvoir, we thank you for your attendance at today's change of command ceremony. Colonel Stewart will receive friends and well-wishers in front of the stage. Colonel and Mrs. Allen will host a reception at Garrison headquarters directly following the ceremony. On your way out, please scan the QR code that's located on the doors and in the lobby for directions to the reception. All are invited to attend. Again, thank you for joining us on this historic occasion. We are the Army's home. Thank you.
Very well done. Very well done.